I know, fixing it up. And I'm super close up. I have no idea why I'm so close up, but it's fine. You can see all my crow's feet today.
Mm.
It's been a
Is it
minute.
time for the bow?
While we're waiting, by the way, everyone, sorry that I'm running late. That's been the day today, and I am a never late person. And I'll get to that in a minute. While we're waiting on folks to join, coopedup.com is my website. You can check me out anytime there. I'm Cooped Up is my handle in all the social places. You can follow me, particularly on the Instagrams. Kerrie is at Food Sparks, as you can see right there, right there. I'm not a good. I would never be a good weathercaster.
Look, I'm like this. I'm like, your shit's in my way.
And then uh, click the bell wherever you watch or listen to this so that you get notified when I come live. Hey, Mama, happy birthday. It is my mother's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Mama Cooper.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
I play that song extra
Happy
loud on
birthday.
the kids' birthdays when I'm dropping them off at school. And
They're like, would you please pull away?
I know. Hey, Aaron Kyle. Hope you're
Aaron
moved.
Kyle, the new homeowner, Aaron Kyle.
Yes, moved and
Welcome to the club.
living through a
Welcome to the club.
renovation. Yeah, he owned a house with his previous spouse.
That's right. But
Yeah.
you own, you know what? You own your own home now.
And it was his last one was a new build, like in the suburbs kind of
Oh,
thing.
then yeah, you didn't have any projects.
No.
So
So yeah, so it's my mom's birthday. Mother, tell me what you are going to be doing today. Put it in the comments. And if you're doing nothing, that is totally fine too. I would
or what you've done for the day. It's for damn near 5 o'clock.
No, I am her son. I know that by 4:30 you gotta wrap your shit up. I do know she went to the doctor today and got like her hooves and throat and all.
got the puppy dogs and the pussycats looked
Yeah,
at.
everything's been checked.
A lot of people do that on their birthday. Good for you. Good for you.
I know. I do it too. I had my 40-year physical at age 42. I'm 2 years behind, 3 years behind for my colonoscopy. I don't know. I haven't told you, Kerrie. I've told them, but I haven't told you yet. Next week, I'm going to do one of those full body CT scans.
Are you? I've been wanting to do it. But it's expensive, right?
Yeah, like $2,500.
I'm almost tempted though, because it's like I want to know now if something's going on and not whenever it's like I'm gonna have to fight it, you know?
Yeah, same. And I've had when I was 42-ish, I had a CT scan of just like collarbone to pelvis, basically, just the main organs. But this one I'm doing next week is brain, eyes, everything, lymph nodes, guts.
I want to be passed through the donut. I want to be passed through the donut.
Yeah, this is where you go in and it sounds like they're knocking a pan on the outside of it.
I've had a scan like that for my back, but I want the donut, the Siemens machine, the donut where you just go through the donut.
Oh, I don't know that. So that's what Cooper Clinic had, but I don't. Or they did the open one. It wasn't quite like it was just
open MRI.
No,
yeah.
This one is one of those really tight, like where your nose is scraping the thing.
I mean, I did it, but I was like, I said, they said, you want the glasses? It reflects. I go, no, I need you to put like a towel over my face. I go, because I don't trust myself. And I was fine. I laid back and they started to move me back and I'm all chitter chattering. And I had my hands, I can't see, but they were down here. And I talked with my hands. So one of my pink fingers went up like as I was moving back and slid across the top of the thing. And I had a moment of like, are you going to do this? Are you going to freak out and make them pull you out? Or are you just going to work through this and be a big girl and lay here for 20 minutes? And I worked through it mentally, but when my top of my finger that was on my stomach touched the thing, I was just like, oh my God.
And you're a larger person also than I am. I can see that as well.
So I was like, in fact, when I saw the hole, I made a joke. I go, I don't think you're going to get this. And I pointed to my butt in there and he goes, I put a lot of people in this every day. You're going to be fine. And I go, I really don't I'm looking at it like I'm the hot dog. That's the bun. I'm like, no, this isn't going to happen. He goes,
and she's like, when I say a lot of people, I also mean a lot of people.
A lot of people, yeah. He was like, you're all right. I'm like, are you sure?
I'm doing it. And I looked on, so I started seeing some ads for it. And then someone had talked about it to me. I think Leanne Locken actually was telling me about it.
Really? I've seen ads on television for it now.
And then so then I Googled it, and then I saw Jenny Anchondo from Fox, then CW. I think she's on CW now. She had done it and did a little story on it. And she had actually a $300 off promo code with it. So I was like, score.
I mean, I'll pay $2,500 for that.
Yes,
So
I'm paying
pay out of pocket.
$2,200 because it's got the $300 off.
Do they even file it to your insurance, or
they said most insurance doesn't. You can use it like on a health savings account sometimes, or.
But will it go towards your deductible? Will they file that so it goes towards your deductible?
I don't believe so, because I think it's because it is purely elective. But
that's so dumb. God forbid they give you a cut on something that's pure preventative maintenance.
I know, but I'm like, okay, it's fine. Well, my Cooper Clinic exam, which is not covered by insurance at all either, because it's the bells and whistles, it was probably like $4,200, $4,500 or something. But they also shoved a camera down my throat. They
at least it wasn't the other end.
I had to. Well, I kind of wish they would have, because.
Well, if you go for your colonoscopy, they would. You need to go. I went for my 45 year last February.
I know, but they changed the rules when I turned 45. It was still 50. They've only changed the rules in like the last 2 years or so.
Yeah.
But supposedly this CT scan picks up a lot of what the colonoscopy does. Like there's certain things I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. I don't know. You don't get the results immediately. It takes like 2 weeks to get the results. So, which is fine.
Let me know what you think, because I'd love to know, because I'm going next Friday, Good Friday, because I had to call back. I go, wait, are you guys open? I'm doing, because I went for my physical, big girl physical. Like, it's my first real primary care physician physical, because I just got one last year. And she's like, we're talking about like arteries and stuff like that. And she was like, well, you can go get a calcium scan. She's like, you should do that. And so I'm going to get that done. And that's out of pocket. It's like $140 out of pocket to go get the calcium scan, which I guess looks to see if you've got calcium buildup in any of your arteries or whatever.
That's what Cooper clinics did too. I had no calcification. So they were like, this isn't what's going to be what kills you.
Okay.
But
I'm going to do that.
Aaron is right. $2,500 could save you $100,000. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And just a peace of mind. Because, here's the things that I'm afraid of. I will just be straightforward with you on the things that I'm afraid of. My best friend for all of my 20s and 30s and most of my 40s died of brain cancer, glioblastoma. I think that's what it's called, glioblastoma. I may be getting the consonants mixed up, but he died, and he thought that, and I can tell you the minute that he started having cancer symptoms that we did not know. He at first thought he had irritable bowel syndrome, and he was having digestive stuff. Took him to like 2 or 3 colonoscopies, nothing else. They didn't find anything there. So then he was having a lot of sinus problems, and then he had his sinuses drilled out, and that kind of fixed it. And then he started having headaches, and finally he was having headaches so badly that he also started getting very sexually aggressive towards me for a while. Like I was like,
I remember you saying it was, he was losing his ability to.
Appropriate. This is not, and this was before he even knew he had cancer. It's like, Brian, this is not, it actually put a strain on our relationship. I was like, Brian, I'm not going to fuck you. This is not going to happen. Because I mean, there was never any cheating that happened. There was no line officially crossed.
Yeah.
But like groping may have happened at one point. And what I say may have happened, it did. But like in the car.
You were like, what are you doing?
Like, what are you doing? Like, did you develop Tourette's all of a sudden? Like, what is wrong with you? Like,
and that's what it was. Is whatever, I forget what lobe they call that. Yeah. So that was affected by that.
Never been that way. And why, when we're passing the Kroger, are you like, oh, I should grab Cooper's cock right now? Like, why did that enter your brain? Like, to me, and I'm like,
because there was a tumor in his brain.
I know, exactly. I now know, but and I only started telling Todd about this recently. Like I was forever. Actually, I don't even know that he knows the part that I just said.
You're like, Todd, I got felt up in the car a lot.
I know, like not. I didn't have cancer. Yes, and here's the thing: I would never cheat, partially out of fidelity, but also I don't want to keep up with my fucking lies. I don't want. To me, sex is just exercise, but you have to see your ugly body while you're doing it. Like, I'm like, no, nothing about any of that is interesting to me.
You're like, if I'm going to exercise, I better be with someone who actually appreciates it. Yeah,
same. And so anyway, so there was that, and then he started having these headaches, and he finally went to the clinic. He just went to like City Doc or something, and they were like, "Dude, you need to go to the hospital immediately." They found a tumor like right here behind his ear, and he lasted maybe a year longer than that. And so,
Really?
and yes, I don't want an STD or a disease. Exactly that same, Kyle or Aaron.
You
But
know, there's just so many perils out there of like, yeah.
and
It's like,
my granddaddy always said, Cooper, never try something you don't want to like. And that is one of those things too. If there are lines that I knew I do not want to cross, I do not ever cross them. I've never done a drug in my life, because it's not that I'm super anti-drug or anything like that. It's just I know for me that if I like it, I may like it a lot,
yeah, I was always that girl in college of like, this didn't really happen a lot in my college. I think just the nature of the 90s. But or maybe because small towns, and I come from a small town, but I just was always scared to death of anything like cocaine or Molly or acid. One, because I don't ever like to not be in control of my own body, and I don't trust the others around me. So in college, I was DD almost every club night.
Yeah.
I never got my drink on in college because I was too busy worried about these other bitches that couldn't even stand up straight. So I was always the one driving everybody home because I never trusted anybody else with the full autonomy in my body.
Yes.
So, and then for that same reason, was afraid to take a drug that would maybe inhibit me or let other people take care of me because I'm like, you're not taking care of me because I don't trust you.
I've never been on Grindr before. Like I'm like, no,
that I find funny.
There's no good that can come of that. It was invented after I was with Todd, first of all. And there's literally no good that could come of going onto a hookup site or a hookup app site platform.
Yeah. Well, I mean, get the people that are looking for that, right?
Yeah, like there's just never try something you don't want to like. By the way, it is also Suzanne Gentry's birthday today. One of my other favorite people on the planet. Yes. Happy birthday to happy birthday, Suzanne. I sent her a little fun. I like sending just animated gifts for people's birthdays.
You do.
Sexy things or funny things or whatever.
Yes.
But so I'm like, Coop was a gay.com guy. That is true, Bentley. Yes. That is.
Oh my God, I forgot about gay.com.
Gay.com and AOL, M for M, man for man, chat rooms.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
Aaron signed former Grindr user.
No one wants to hook up with us.
Listen, that is the Tinder of the early Tinder. So early Tinder days was all we had. And then Bumble and Hinge came out. So like a lot of people are on those now, but there's actually been a resurgence of people going back to Tinder because apparently Tinder is the what you see, what you get. So guys are either on there like, I'm here for a hookup or I'm interested in this. Apparently people have been more straightforward. So I only found this out because I'm going to share this on this group. Not that this is the audience, but if you're a single girl out there, or if you're married and you got a guy and you're like, feeling a little weird about it. Have you heard about the Facebook groups called Are We Dating the Same Guy?
Yes, you've told me about them.
This is like the best Bravo Lifetime reality TV you could I'm never on Facebook. I'm on Facebook to read the trash and the dragging of the filth in this page. So the gals that came up with the idea are from New York, and they started it in New York, and it got hugely famous. So now they've got it kind of spread out amongst other major cities.
Yes.
So you're having some legal broils and embattlement with Facebook right now. They have a lot of rules and regulations you have to follow, and there's kind of like a little trip you up kind of thing you have to go through to get accepted to the group. Oh my God, Suzanne. I just tell people to get on it if it's just for the comedy of it all. But you talk about wanting to be scared off of dating apps. The actual literal trash that is out there and some of the stories that these women have to share. But that's where I've learned about them talking about Tinder. They're like, actually, I went back to Tinder because I know what I'm getting. But the whole thing behind it is it's not to trash the men. You're actually not allowed to do that. It's called red flags or T. So you're actually alerting women. And there are women in there that have been attacked by guys that are like serial daters across these apps. And you put the picture up and then you give the details in the comments. And women will just pile on. Oh my God, I went on a date with this guy and that happened. Oh my God, he tried to get into my DMs. And
Really?
The best one so far, and the more people will put, the guy up and say, is anybody dating him? Like, I'm kind of hitting it off. So what happens is women are in there that are sometimes married to these men, but the women do not go after each other. They help each other.
Well,
it's actually really
that drives me.
It's a whole safety thing for women in a women empowerment group.
You see like a Maury Povich or Jerry Springer or some show like that, where the women start going after each other because they're the same man, and I'm like, he's the one. He's the one. He's the bad guy.
The whole Suzanne is on it. Suzanne, it is Cooper. It is entertainment. Like, next time I'm at your house, I'm gonna pull up the page. Okay. So the real kickoff is if someone posts and says either I'm starting to like him. Tell me if you're, dating him before I ask to go exclusive, right? Because some women will be like, yeah, I dated him last week, or I went on a date with him 6 months ago. Like, they'll just pile in. But some women are on there going
different definitions of what dating is. Like I've never, when I was dating, I was never a let's juggle 3 guys at once person. I'm like, nope, I'm going on dates with this person right now. Until that ends, I'm not going on a date with anybody else.
That's what's fascinating. And Suzanne, if you saw this post from last Saturday, first of all, by the number of comments is how you know if a post is on fire. Okay. I opened it up last Friday while I was eating sushi by myself, and this post had 500 comments, and I was like, here we go. And turns out this guy, the picture she posted, she was literally like, we're supposed to be exclusive. I stayed the night at his house last night. We went to a concert, yada, yada. By the time the post was done, there was like 5-7 women in there going, yeah, I'm dating him too. Like, it was bonkers. And like people, I don't know if they did it, Suzanne. I didn't go back to the post, but they were all going to get together and one of them make a date with him, and then they all show up.
or they all are, the other 4 are just happen to be sitting at one of the tables there.
Yeah. So, and he was basically lying to this girl saying, yeah, we're exclusive now. And she figured out by him being on, he was actually talking to other women while he was lying in bed, and she had spent the night. He was actually
saying, how do you know if they're telling the truth?
Oh, girl, you can tell. Like, you can tell by the details and the back and forth. Like, these women were literally time stamping this man's movements based on who got texts when. They share screenshots of their messaging back and forth with him and within the apps.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So now the biggest rule of the group as a woman, but it happens all the time, which is like so stupid, because I'm like, you're a woman. Why would you do this to another woman? You're not allowed to take screenshots in the group, but of course it's Facebook, so you can't tell.
Yeah.
But some of these men, lots of people will post privately because they're afraid, because, these men will, like, a woman will be like, I'm not going to date you anymore or whatever. And they'll be like, oh, were you posting about me in this group? Because some other woman has screenshot it and sent it to the guy. And I'm like, that's bullshit. But it happens, but you're not supposed to do it. And if they find out you're doing it, they kick you out. But there's over 100,000 women in Dallas in this group now.
That's crazy.
It's crazy interesting.
There's women only in the group also?
There's what? Women only. Yeah.
No, I was a one at a timer. I'll tell you, the day of Todd and my first date, his date after me showed up while I was still leaving. He had someone, Gary, I think is his name. And this little twink, he's missing a tooth right in the middle right there, or had a giant gap. And
missing tooth, Gary.
I know. I call him the toothless boy wonder, is what I actually jokingly call him.
So did you get talking about it? Like, you had another date lined up.
So we went, and here's the thing. Our first date was driving to fucking IKEA, right?
Yes.
And so Todd lived on the 3rd floor of an apartment that did not have elevators, Post Properties, and he had just had his tonsils out like 2 weeks before that. So he was not allowed to carry heavy stuff, right? And so I schlepped personally, Cooper Mason Smith at the time, schlepped all of Todd's shit up 3 flights of stairs, went up there, spent hours helping him put it together. And then there's a knock on the door and he goes, oh, maybe that's Gary. And Gary is showing up with a Cheesecake Factory to go or something. And they were just going to have dinner at the thing. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's my cue to leave. So I met the other guy Todd was dating at the time.
So how long did it take him to dump him?
I don't know. I don't think very long. I think it was very, very quick. I think maybe That may have been the last date, or maybe one.
And you're like, I literally put together IKEA furniture for you.
Fucking, and I'm more bitter that, there's no such thing as lightweight IKEA furniture. Like, you could get an IKEA paperweight, and that shit is like a dumbbell. Like, that is like an IKEA stapler still weighs 43 pounds. Like, everything from IKEA weighs so much.
Do you know that schlepping and putting together IKEA furniture is on the list of we go together? Like when they're like, we don't know if we're dating, and the guys are like, oh no, we go together, because like if I've spent the night at your house, if I've put together furniture, if I've helped you with a home project, bitch, we go together.
Because anytime you put an IKEA something together, if you use their provided tool, you end up with a fucking bruise on your finger right there from turning that Allen wrench.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get in so much trouble on this episode between the Brian thing and now this. Monica is saying this will be the next family vacation topic of trouble. None of this is a lie. And I tell Todd sometimes, I'm like, you know what? Hiding details is not fun. Like, it's much more fun to talk about them and laugh about them. And it's not like I'm calling you a whore. But no, he was a slut, not a whore. And actually,
whore makes money. Let's be honest.
Well, and actually, we were not even sleeping together. So I joke that I have 3 vices in life. I cuss too much, I drink too much, and I'm a sure thing on a first date. But with Todd, that was not the case, because we had done all the shopping. He had fresh tonsil wounds, like all of this kind of. I didn't want him to get like an open socket from, well,
no. That was actually, going back to the post I was talking about, that was the gold of the post, is that the girl invited him to a concert. So he was going to this concert. But he was messaging other girls, like when they looked at the timestamps, he was trying to line up secondary options in case they didn't hook up that night. Well, she ended up going to his house to spend the night, but she basically tells him, I'm on the Aunt Flo and I'm not doing it. But by then she was already in his bed. So she spent the night. So they figured out that he had to bail on the other girls because she was already at the house.
Oh my God.
And then so he didn't even get any, which was the funniest part. Because even though he was going to the concert with this girl, he was trying to line up other girls to have sex with.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Suzanne is saying a married dad in her neighborhood was one of the posts. That's crazy.
A thing. Yeah. And sometimes.
Hi, Ruth Nino. That's from high school.
Sometimes women will post in there or say, does he belong to anyone? And some women will be like, yeah, that's my husband, or that's my baby daddy. My baby daddy's a popular term in there. And they'll just talk freely, or they'll say, I'll DM you with details. Like, the women are very supportive, except for the ones that screenshot it and will run off and tell the guys that they're being talked about in this group.
Those are the same women that would get in the fights on
and take the guy, and not listen to the women. So it's a very supportive group, but man, is it entertaining. It's the most time I've spent on Facebook in years.
Really? Man.
Yeah.
So by the way, I've been running late to everything today. I am not a late person at all.
You're not a late person.
I am never late. I am chronically early. I am so fucking early that Todd actually doesn't like going to parties where I know the time that it starts, because he's like, Cooper, we're going to be there 10 minutes before the party starts, right? Like, and I'm like, no, we'll just sit in the car and we'll walk in when the party starts. Cooper, that's too early. And I'm like, no, they said be there at 6:30. 6:30 is the time. In meetings, there's so many times where I have to sit in the car for 10 or 15 minutes playing a game on my phone or whatever, because I hate being late. I don't like the unpredictability of it. Like, if traffic, I give myself 30 minutes to get anywhere, just because I'm like, I don't know what traffic's going to be like, like that kind of thing. And I never show up right before. I need to kind of center all of that. And so today has been an exercise in running late for me. Like, I have because things take longer, or conversations take longer, or somehow I just have no sense of time today. So I'm like, what is going on? So I say all of that because Kerrie and I have prepared 0 notes about what we wanted to talk about today. In fact, me being late today is the only reason you're talking to Kerrie or listening to Kerrie, because she was like, hey, I've had something come up and I can't do it after all. And then she just texted me right before I came live and said, oh, I actually just freed up. And I'm like, good, me too. So no notes.
Yeah, I was like, I'm out. I don't think I can get this deck
I
done
did
by
not
then.
expect to be talking about brain tumors or grinder hookups or Toothless Boy Wonder or any of these things. Like, no.
Or are we dating the same guy on
Dating
Facebook?
the same guy on Facebook, like that.
See, that's what you get though. You get the random hat. You get the random bag of dicks.
Yeah, there was one thing I did want. I did already make a mental note that I did want to talk about. Did y'all see? And I think I briefly discussed this with you on text, but Adele is extending her residency in Las Vegas, and they have added 34 more shows, but not immediately. She's ended the first run. It ended last weekend, I believe.
Yeah.
Or maybe this weekend. It's around right now, but
yeah.
So it's ended, and she's going to return starting in, I think, July or August.
June.
June, was that what it was?
June through just November.
And she's doing June to November, and they're timing it because Formula One, I think, is in October or November in Vegas, all that kind of stuff. And the show has made Caesar so much fucking money. So she was being previously paid $500,000 per performance beforehand, right? She is now, they doubled it. She's now being paid $1 million. Can you imagine being paid $1 million?
A cool $2 million every weekend.
Every weekend. For a show that has already been paid for because you were planning to just end it in the first place, right? So it's pure profit at this point, other than her salary for Caesars also. Well, I mean, the salaries of the singers and stuff. But like, they don't have to pay the creative director anymore. They don't have to come up with the concept. They don't have to any of this stuff. So good for her. So
and that's not even her per diem and flying her back and forth.
No, supposedly she is the first person to headline a show in Vegas and make $1 million. It was originally going to be Bono, because Bono was going to be, and U2, they were going to be the show that premieres in that sphere that we saw, that theater that was a big sphere.
Yeah.
That was going to be Bono and U2 doing that. And they were going to get paid $1 million per show. I don't know if it's Bono or all of someone somewhere, and that was going to get paid $1 million. So now Adele has stolen that title from them. But they reopened, so they've reopened registration for tickets, and I did sign up.
You did? Okay, I'll go sign up.
I signed up for 4 shows. They do 4 shows. I don't remember if it was 4 before. I did it around Todd's birthday, September 23rd, which is a Saturday, because I would feel compelled to take him also. But I signed up for. Chances are, based on my luck with everything else, I never make it past the verified fan thing. Like,
how many tickets do they let you buy at a time? 4 or 6?
4. Buy up to 4, I think.
Okay.
But anyway, but I'm like, you know what? That was such a good show, and I would love Todd to see it. And I'm sure I could find other people to just take my hands off the other ones, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so they go on sale. I think we find out on April 4th if we're in line and what show we're in line for. And so
okay, I'll have to do it.
Such a sheltered life. I've never heard any of this. Are you talking about the Vegas stuff, or are you talking about?
No, he's talking about all the dating stuff.
Really? Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, Eric, but you've been in a long-time committed relationship. Just be happy that you haven't heard
apps didn't exist. I think the apps have changed everything for dating. I mean, you can literally have an app. I know the sound that Grindr makes because I have enough friends on it that. I think that's the noise it makes. And I've seen enough memes about it. But just the fact that you can have a phone, that your phone can tell you how close a particular dick is to you. Like, that is what is astounding to me. And how at like an event like Black Tie Dinner or DIFA or Pride Parade or something like that, do they not have a complete meltdown of their system? And how at those events do we not hear ring, 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 ring? Like,
because they have it on silent,
yes.
Speaking of Black Tie, I'm gonna have to ask you something later. I gotta text you about something.
Okay, but the anyway, but the I just So Adele, back to Adele. Also, speaking of our Adele weekend, I need to commit to just making that fucking bread one time. Like, you need to come over, or you do it at your house, and I do it at my house, or whatever.
Way to make the bread.
That bread is
Julia's garden bread. Julia's garden bread.
Whatever it was, yes. Like I almost bought a sage plant this weekend, thinking, you know what, I'm gonna need a lot of motherfucking sage for this Martha Stewart bread that I'm gonna be making every weekend.
It actually doesn't have that much.
I know, but I'm gonna eat so much of it. I'm going all my points on this Martha Stewart flatbread. It was so, I mean, literally one of my favorite. I'm going to go so far as to say that bread, it was one of my favorite, like, single menu items on a restaurant menu anywhere ever. Like,
and shockingly so. Like when
so
I tell people, and my friend Angela went this past weekend. She went to Vegas all weekends when T Swift was in. I go, girl, you must be so tired of seeing
her. Eric saw her in on Saturday night in Vegas.
Oh, in Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I saw it on TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched
you can't miss it on TikTok. I feel like I've seen the whole concert now.
I watched the live stream. It's so cool to be able to pull up the live streams and watch it. But anyway, I was like, if you do anything, and I didn't see her post from it. She went to other restaurants, but I was like, you need to go to the restaurant and eat that bread basket. She's like, I remember you posting about it. I was like, you need to do it.
And it looks
she went to other restaurants.
It's ridiculously sized. It looks like a surfboard for a full-size Chihuahua. Like it is so big and it's so flat and it looks like it's going to be so dry, like moist free, that you are going to need to like afterward. No, it is delicious. Like it is so good. Like that bread alone is what brought us back to spend another like $300 the next night.
We did. Yeah.
And I didn't even like the other bread. Like I liked the Parker House.
I liked the focaccia. You didn't like it. And of course the Parker House rolls were delicious. Come on.
Yes, they were, but Parker House rolls to me is one of those things where even a bad Parker House roll is a really good Parker House roll. Yeah. You know, like there's the distance between great and exceptional is not that far, because just by existing you are great if you're a Parker House roll.
It was good though.
But that focaccia bread, you loved it. I thought it was gorgeous. Yeah. I very much wanted to like it. I just do not like sugary breads.
Yeah. Unless and it was savory and sweet, but it was weird because they had the sugar on top. Yeah.
That just bothered me. So I'm guessing.
But I like the roasted grapes in there, and I want to try it with the roasted cherries.
That added sweetness too, which I was and wetness. But that flatbread, oh my God. Like,
okay. Hang on a second, though. Let's go back to Eric going to see T Swift. I didn't know you were a Swiftie fan, Eric.
So he got invited. So Eric is a big congressman. Eric Stalwart, Swallow.
I've seen him post about him.
There's some congressman from California who had a fundraiser of some sort, and it involved being a guest in a suite or something. That
would be awesome.
He was going
especially since it's a 3-hour concert. For people that don't know, this is a 3-hour concert with no break.
Yeah. And it is and so he looked like he had a great time. I've heard things that I will not share here about having a great time, but it looked like a great show. I told him, I was like, afterwards, I was like, I'm a little jealous now. Like that might have been a show, because I'm not a big Swiftie either. I love the 1999 album. All the rest of them, I'm like,
I'm a later Swiftie, but now having watched it and then I'm listening to the playlist, I realized there were songs of hers I didn't really realize in the early years. But
she's remade some of them and they're better now. Like the Taylor.
Right, yeah. Those are the playlist is all of her stuff she's remade, right? And then now I'm picking up. I mean, the generation missed us a bit for the Swifties, so it's truly the millennials and the elder millennials. But now I'm picking up on all the hint. I didn't realize she does this thing where she links everything together, and there's hints to the other things. So they're at the end of the concert, they're like, what does the orange door mean? Orange is the next era. Okay, the album is going to be like, they've all figured it out.
Yeah. So Alexand, who we went to Vegas with, he is a huge Swiftie.
Oh, I'm gonna have to ask him about
he is one of those, like, he is a beautiful mind of Taylor Swift stuff. Like
he's got it all figured out.
He's got I've never been to his house, but it would in no way at all surprise me if I opened a stray closet door and there were a photo of her with all these strings all over the place.
Like Homeland.
Yes, like connecting, like the orange door is connected to the scary,
Yeah.
the sexy baby connected to the blah blah blah. You
Yeah.
know? Like
Well,
her new
she whispered before she started some songs. She whispered summer twice, I guess, and people are like, "The next album's going to be out in summer." Everybody's waiting on that earlier album
the
to come out.
conspiracy theories. I know. The other
Yes,
thing
it's so
that's
funny.
funny is so some of her lyrics, I'm like, so like uh it's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's
Yeah.
me, whatever that song is called. And some of the lyrics in that make me laugh because she's like, sometimes I feel like I'm a sexy baby. You know, everybody's a sexy
Yeah.
baby, and I'm the monster on the hill. Like, what the fuck is a sexy baby? What is that?
That's
Like,
just she made it up, and now that's like the term. And that's the one thing I will say about her is I never paid attention much to her lyrics, but now that I'm listening to the songs, I have to pull them up sometimes, or I look at it on the Spotify app, and I'm just like, I forget she's a singer songwriter, right? And I was
mhm,
like, she really is right. I was like, she has some unique lyrics. I like never
yes,
really thought about it.
yes. But yeah, so sexy baby. That's when I'm there.
That is
So are
very
people
funny.
using that in slang now?
Yeah, sexy baby is like anything Taylor endorses. Are you kidding? It
But
becomes
what's a
a
sexy
vernacular.
baby? What's that mean?
Just she felt like everybody's being a sexy baby, like everybody's being all,
Cute and
adorable and cute and being a sexy baby, and she feels ugly. Yeah. I like what she says about there's a line in there about her depression, right? And then her narcissism.
yeah,
Um,
altruism masked as
Altruism disguised and masked as narcissism. Yeah, whatever. I love her alliteration that she
yeah,
does there in
that's
that.
good.
Yeah.
And I do like the when she's like, she's laughing up at us from hell, like that
Yeah.
whole thing. I love that. I like that song a lot.
Yes.
There's a couple of others that I'm like, okay, I can get with that. I do not like the song that everyone likes, one of the original songs of uh, the what is it? And then they were doing the memes with the opening of the ring box and all of that kind of stuff.
Trying to think.
I can't think of
Oh,
what's
the one on the current album that's
no, no,
about
no,
being
this is really an old song. Like back when
trying to
she was
think.
still much more like rocky or like country or rockabilly sort of.
Oh, that would have been like earlier, yeah,
Yeah.
before Revolution.
Ruth is saying I'd like to attend one of her shows just to see her dive
Ruth, I'll send
in.
you it on TikTok. She just
Look,
falls into the middle of the stage, and then it looks like she swims to the other part.
that was so. Here's my thing on that also. So I have mad respect for her doing that as a gift to the people who do not have floor seats.
Yeah,
Because
so that's the whole thing everybody says about this concert is, and now that I've seen it at multiple angles from the live streams on TikTok, I'm like, there's a different vantage point at every place in her concert. It's really cool.
also I feel the same way about that Adele concert that you and I went to. I think
Yes,
that our seats were far better than Alexander
perfect.
and Christian's seats.
They
Theirs
were
were like
perfect.
4 rows up from the stage, which yes, really close, all that kind of. They felt the fire a lot hotter than we did, but they missed the immersive part of it. Like you weren't.
Yeah, we were wrapped in the graphics.
Did you know
Yeah.
that she is one of the first people ever to use that music technology? Or
Oh,
some
really?
there's something about some immersive music technology that she's using in her show, Adele, that wraps the music around you in a way. So
Interesting. Yeah, I
Ruth is
felt
saying
it.
she just meant seeing it live. She has seen it
Yeah.
on the apps. But anyway, so I'll keep y'all posted on if I'm the proud
Get
owner of.
tickets. I'll go online and see if I'll put
You
some
know,
dates in.
sometimes I sign up to buy tickets just to be a good friend to other people. Like I signed up to
Yeah.
buy Beyonce tickets. I signed up to buy Taylor Swift tickets. I signed up to buy all of these tickets. I never get shit. I never. This is one part of my life where I am like the most unlucky person ever. The only way I get tickets is if it is an American Express pre-sale, and I can get online before everyone, or if I hear about it and then I call
Yeah.
Gary Bright, my ticket guy at American Airlines Center for Suites, and ask him about it. But other than that, like I am terrible about lucking out on general sales of tickets.
Well, and it's you and I also have talked about this before. We won't take just any seat. I mean, with the first time Adele came around, we bought what came up for sure. We
Yeah.
lucked out and got floor seats right next to the stage she popped out on.
Yes.
But we won't just take any nosebleed shitty section. Like we'd rather pay good money and be in a suite or pay within the first 10 rows or be on the front of the next section. Like, and you often don't have the opportunity to make that selection on some of these major concerts. They're selling out so quickly.
I am now a big fan. If I can't be in a suite, I want to be in the lower part of the bowl. I don't want to be on the floor. Not the because the floor has the shitty temporary seats. At least the bowl has the good seats that are wide enough, room enough. You can sit your ass down during the show. You don't have to stand up. When people are standing up, you can still see over their heads. I mean, it's not a problem for me, but other people can see over my head. But yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the only other thing I wanted to talk about today.
I will talk about one thing I posted on my Insta for those that follow me, but I caved.
Is that the Stanley?
Yeah, I caved. You're
gonna have old lady lips.
Nope, I bought the things. They're not here yet. Have y'all seen the bow ties? The flat things that make you purse flat. I bought them. They're coming from Etsy. They're out of Canada. And they're two little bow ties. You put them over that they do fit the Stanley because I had it on the Etsy page.
That's
so I just haven't gotten them yet. They'll be here this week. But I caved because I don't know. I have a ton of these kind of things anyway. And I did not get the matte, the pretty one, because my friend said hers is already chipping down here.
Oh.
I was like, I'm just gonna get the brushed with the green handle and
I bet it chips in. You know, when I paint my nails and I do a matte finish, the tips start to get shiny. The paint will still be on it, but the tips get shiny because the matte finish starts to wear off.
But they have a lifetime warranty. I said, send it back. They'll send you a new one. But I was like, if I like it enough, I'll get a pretty one. But it's just my desk water. So if I drink, this is 40. So if I drink 3 of these a day, I'm doing pretty good. Even 2 a day, I'm doing pretty good.
I realized that over spring break, I was not drinking enough water because when I went back to work on Monday, like full time, and I had my normal dose of water, like my normal 100 to 120 ounces of water a day, I might as well have just moved my office to the bathroom.
To the bathroom.
Yeah, I was in there constantly.
Yeah, that's the only thing. It's like I'm always having to pee, and it's right about the time I'm starting to write something and I got to concentrate. I'm like,
I don't. My body's now used to it. Like I can make it, and even at night, unless I'm just having a rough night, I now can. Now that I have my blood pressure medicine and my ADHD medicine and all my vitamins, and I don't wake up in the middle of the night anymore to pee.
Oh, I wake up. I usually.
But when I do wake up, I gotta go to bed. Yes. So.
Oh, you're welcome, Ruth. By the way, I just want to make sure you'd seen it. People were saying she stole that from SZA. I've not seen SZA's concert, but people were like, no. And then the Swifties pipe in, no, because she's been planning this tour for 2 years and she talked about it years ago. And there's some video about how she talked about how she'll go between they put her on this thing and they shoot her to the other end of the stage.
Really?
So she can pop back up. Yeah. But anyway.
So I still want to know how Adele ends her show. Like I know she disappears at the end of this is no secret to anybody. She disappears at the end of the show, and I know how she does it. Like the floor obviously opens up and she falls in.
They do it so well.
I want to know how quickly she falls, how big the chute is. I want to know, does she land on her butt? Does she land on her back? Is there a slide under there? Like, does it open and she slides and lands? I want to know
if it's a mattress. Usually it's a mattress. It's a drop of about 6 or 8 feet or 6, and there's a mattress.
But I would rather it be a slide almost. I'd rather it fall out and then I go down. I want to know if, like, does she land on a pile of pillows or is it a beanbag chair? Like, is her dress up around her tits when she
lands? More so than that, the trust you have to build up to do that, because honestly, she has to be right on the mark on the floor, which she's learned where it is.
She did. I mean, I knew it was coming and you did too, but I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
So I was watching her and you could see she was like, nope,
she was going back to find her mark. Yeah. Because you have video on that.
You don't want to smack your head. Yeah.
So you got to be right in that. And she had her arms up. You've got to go down because the hole is not that big. But another thing, it goes in. It's got to go in fast enough to where she doesn't rock back or want her body to take a step.
You have to
just fall straight down.
I bet it's a double. No, is it a double door? Do you think, or is it a?
It probably has to be. Yeah.
Yeah,
has to be
because she also because she does when she's singing. She's like, I do it all again. I do it all again. And then she starts waving to everybody.
Yeah.
That's her putting her hands above her head, right?
Yeah. And then it's the timing of the confetti. There's such a glob of it that hides her.
Yes.
But and also the door gets put up enough to where the glob's still coming down and covers the door. So you don't even see the door.
I've seen a couple of videos where they show the door putting itself back, like from the upper balcony.
Oh, really? Okay.
But
they're still raining down enough confetti that it covers it, and you don't see a spot where she went down. There's that much confetti coming down.
I think there's a ball pit.
There you go, Aaron. It's a ball pit. That's
little McDonald's action back there, little Chuck E. Cheese business going on.
Yeah, it's the trust thing. It's more about learning how to do that and then doing it in a dress.
I'm just fascinated by just the idea of that, like the mechanics of it, like all of that. Same with like, you remember when she did the concert here in Dallas and she had the secondary stage, just a little island in the middle, and how she got from one to the other. Do you remember how she got from one to the other? She had to hide in a box.
That's right.
They pretended they were just moving speaker equipment between the two. That's how she did. Nothing glamorous at all. Like the opposite. Like tucked down in. And then I've seen also like some concerts where they go down and then they're climbing through the joists under the stage,
Yeah. And Janet and Madonna had a thing where they did that. Yeah. And they had to move them,
Yeah. So I'm just like, that's the part that just fascinates me. Because, like in PR stuff, like we do stuff on, like, I don't do as much of it, nor do you anymore, but like TV coverage, like if you're on a morning show, if you're on Good Morning America, or if you're on Good Morning Texas or Good Day or something like that, it is not glamorous at all. What you see on TV, if you go 6 inches off either direction, it's just warehouse space, basically. It's just it's there. It's not all gussied up. The Good Morning Texas was the exception because the state, and also WFAA at the time, like evening news, because it was in that glassed in like fishbowl at American Airlines Center.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Even there, if you got out of that glassed in area, it was a shithole. Like it was.
No, yeah, it was just you and I have been there with clients. There's just like a wall, and on the backside it's just all It's a set design. That's all it is. It's a set design. Yeah. It looks like it's permanent, but it's not.
And the floor is covered in cords. You got to make sure you don't fall on your face.
Yeah, gaffer's tape everywhere, marks on the floor. Yeah.
So,
anyway. It looks glamorous on TV, but it's not glamorous at all.
All righty. Well, I need to go because I started late, and now I need to start dinner. We're having Sloppy Joe's for dinner. Todd's not here, so Mason really, really wanted Sloppy Joe's.
Sloppy Joe's. I haven't had Sloppy Joe's in a while.
Bag. So it's. I made it ages ago, and because I always double up, and I froze it. And on the outside of the bag, it says Sloppy Joe, Sloppy Joe, Sloppy Joe.
Really?
Because I'm a dork.
Because you're funny. You're the funny dad.
Yes.
All right. You're both funny, but I mean, you're a funny dad, like a dad jokes dad.
You don't have to apologize to Todd for saying that.
No, I'm serious. I meant that ends like you're one of the funny those funny dads that does that. Yeah.
Called him a slut today, and
hey, Todd is also funny. Todd, you're also funny.
He's the slut with the sense.
You're the silly dad. Todd's funny. You're silly.
Yes. So
yeah.
All right. Well, with that, I'm gonna say happy birthday to my mother. Happy birthday,
Mama Cooper.
Gentry Flodine, all of you. And I love you. I love all of you. I love you. I love you. It's important to know you were loved. Love that you watched this. Thank you so much. And I love that you can join us, Kerrie, occasionally.
Thanks for having me.
Your job doesn't fuck it up for me. But other than that, I mean, you got to work? What?
What?
I know. How dare you have an
Who's working at 4:30? Come on.
Seriously. Not my 5s and 6s of fans, that's for sure. So, alrighty. And Ruth,
thanks for having me.
Birthday to my mother also. So,
that's sweet. Happy birthday, Suzanne.
I think I am here tomorrow, y'all. Let me do a little programming note real quick before I sign. I know there's a day that I am not able to do it. I cannot be here tomorrow. I have a very, 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 very important phone call at 4:00 tomorrow. And I'm pretty sure it's going to last the greater part of an hour to an hour and a half. So I will I will see y'all on Friday. And it's not a fun phone call, unfortunately.
I said a long phone call, but that doesn't sound like fun phone call either.
But it's important. So I will see y'all Friday at 4:30 for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say? Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.